Most Americans agree that Muslims are the victims of bigotry. In a 2017 survey, 2/3 of Americans said Muslims face a lot of discrimination. Only 1/3 said the same thing about Christians. But there's one group that rejects this story: white evangelicals. They're much more likely to say it's Christians who face discrimination than they are to say the same thing about Muslims. Why do Americans see discrimination so differently? Muslims in America are feeling pretty scared right now. Recent instances of hate crimes and President Trump's hostile rhetoric on Islam are leaving many feeling threatened.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
This is especially true of young Muslims. Since the 2016 election, 1/5 have made plans to leave the country if necessary, and nearly half fear for their personal safety because of groups like the Ku Klux Klan and white supremacists and neo-Nazis. Muslims are more anxious than any other religious or non-religious group, according to a 2017 survey. But many white evangelicals perceive a totally different set of threats. 81% of them voted for Trump for president, but he still can't change recent court decisions on issues like same-sex marriage and abortion. Many Christians believe they've lost the culture wars.
We need to be the people who know how to articulate a Christian vision of marriage and sexuality that will be increasingly countercultural from this point on.
Americans today are living in different versions of reality. In these separate worlds, perceptions of bigotry look nothing alike. In a 2017 survey, 2/3 of Americans said that Muslims face a lot of discrimination, but only 1/3 said the same thing about Christians. White evangelicals had a totally different take. 57% said Christians face a lot of discrimination, and only 44% said the same thing about Muslims. Since Trump became president, white evangelicals have been even less likely to see discrimination against Muslims than they were before. The facts don't necessarily support both versions of reality, though. 22% of religiously motivated hate crimes are committed against Muslims, compared to 14% committed against all Christian denominations combined. In 2015, the number of hate crimes against Muslims rose to their highest level since 2001. And this is even more stark considering that Muslims only make up 1% of the US population. It's hard to say why Americans see bigotry in such radically different ways. For many people, this has been an anxious time. Jews, who are victims of more religiously motivated hate crimes than any other group, have been on edge recently because of a wave of anti-Semitic attacks. People who aren't religious may be worried that President Trump is too cozy with religious groups. And some conservative Christians may think Republicans really aren't able to protect their religious freedom. The one thing Americans agree on right now is that they're anxious. They just can't agree on who deserves to be more upset. This is Unpresidented, a weekly series in which Atlantic writers explore what's going on in this new era of American politics. Let us know what topics you'd like to tackle next. I'm Emma Green. Thanks for watching.